Welcome to my humble abode. This is the first time we're doing something in the garage, funny enough. Most of my videos, as you know, are filmed outside on the road, but today you can see we're stuck inside because the weather outside is bad, and I've kind of accidentally figured out a new format where we can just chill out and talk practical bike stuff just like this. So in this one, we're going to be talking about what it's like to have 2 motorcycles or more. Is it worth it? My experience, because over the time of me making videos, people have noticed that I own multiple bikes and I ride many bikes on the channel, and I always talk about getting another bike because we know as riders, N+1 being N is the number of bikes you already have, and +1 is the standard equation, meaning that there's always more room for bikes in your stable. So let's talk about the pros and cons, my experience, and while we're here, hit like and subscribe. Let me know if you want to see more of this stuff where we just chill out in my house and enjoy the shiny head you get from the lighting in this backdrop. But for now, let's roll the intro and let's get into what it's like to have 2 motorcycles or more. So I guess let's just start with why I even have 2 bikes, because those of you that have been around a little while will know that I started with the MT-09 on this channel primarily, and that bike is such a good all-round bike, it's hard to justify having 2 bikes. But somehow I still managed buying this bright orange thing behind me because I thought having shiny syndrome, more is better. But those of you that have something like an adventure bike and are looking for a sportier bike, I can understand you wanting a second bike because they're 2 polar opposite ends of the spectrum. Whereas me, I'm just a guy who has no prior real commitments and just has more money than sense sometimes, and now we're here talking about this. So that's pretty much the only reason I have 2 bikes. It's because I have an impulsive nature and I went into a dealership, saw a big deal and walked out scratching my head wondering why I now have a supermoto sitting behind me that doesn't even have a fuel gauge. So that's pretty much how I ended up with 2 bikes. Some of you guys might have 2 already, you might have more, you might be looking to do so, and who am I to judge as to why you might want to do that? But what I will tell you is it's twice the cost of owning a normal bike. What do I mean by this? Well, if you live in a country like I do in New Zealand, or you're in the UK, somewhere like that, you're gonna have double insurance, double tax, 2 sets of tires, 2 bikes to fuel, and all the other costs I just mentioned. And over time, once that honeymoon period wears off, are you going to be prepared to pay double the cost? And even I sometimes look in the garage and wonder why I'm paying for 2 bikes when I can only ride 1 at a time. And that's the thing, most of us here aren't millionaires, so you've got to factor in whether you do have it in you to commit to paying for twice everything. Because if not, maybe skip buying a second bike and maybe just be happy with what you got. Because believe you and me, as I said, once that honeymoon period wears off and the bills keep coming in, especially if you finance one of these things, it's very easy to regret your decision. But that's pretty much where the negatives stop. It's all about money. If you can afford it, having 2 bikes is absolutely amazing. I can't lie, it's so much fun. Just looking at them and knowing that you have 2 bikes to ride, let alone if I had 3, 4, 5, I can just imagine the smile. I could just sit in here, pop a beer and just look at these bikes all night, because most of us who ride bikes are quite obsessed with them and we're quite weird. But let me just tell you, having 2 bikes means that you will have 2 different types of riding for the most part. Even though these bikes might be similar to some people, they're still far apart enough that I get 2 different types of riding style out of them. That MT-09 is super powerful with low end torque. It's a lot more comfortable, a lot more robust, but don't forget we're comparing it to a supermoto. That thing will blow over like a kite if someone got too close and took a deep breath. The suspension on that KTM and the giggle factor of a massive single cylinder bike, I don't think there's any bike I'm gonna ride that gives me the fun factor of that thing, and that's where sometimes I have to choose what ride do I want to go on. Do I want to go on a bit more of a long distance ride? Then I'll take the MT-09. Do I want to go out and do stupid things and go for twisty back roads and maybe keep up and outrun some 1000cc bikes, believe it or not, on twisties? That's where you take the KTM. My next justifying point would be, oh, now I need an adventure bike because I want to go off-roading a little bit but also capable. Or do I get an enduro, or do I get a sport touring bike? This is how it starts, and this is where I'm at now, looking at a 3rd bike, because my next bike needs to be something that these 2 don't do, and I think the touring route is where I'm going. Just on a side note, that is what I'm looking at next, because in 6 months I will be in the UK buying a new bike and possibly bringing 1 or both of these with me. Who knows, we'll see how that goes. Because here's the thing, once you have more than 1 bike, suddenly you're going to be open to a whole world of riding that you might not have been open to before. It's one thing if you've never ridden another bike and you've only ridden the one you've got. It's another thing riding someone's bike. As you've seen me on this channel, I've ridden multiple bikes, but it's another thing owning a second bike. You really get to know that bike inside and out, and you really get a good gauge of the type of riding that you like. And at the end of the day, life is what you make it, and I take positives out of owning 2 bikes, even though it cost me an arm and a leg. I'm very grateful. I know a lot of people don't get the chance to have 1 bike, let alone 2, so don't get me wrong, I am super grateful for the opportunity. I'm super grateful for the fact it opens my eyes to a whole nother spectrum of riding, because if I didn't own 2 bikes, I would have stuck narrow-minded doing that thing that people do and they die hard defend their bike. I would have die hard defended that MT-09 till the cows come home, whereas now I can understand maybe it's not the perfect bike. Maybe the perfect bike doesn't exist. There's always something that does something better than the next bike. And if you get into 2 bike systems or more, believe you and me, you're suddenly gonna start looking for that next itch. And for a little bit of fun, here's a random angle that you probably haven't thought of. If you have multiple bikes, if you have biker friends, people will be hounding you non-stop to ride them. And I know how many times I've been harassed to ride that KTM behind me. And let me just say, if you are someone who has multiple bikes, or you do end up getting multiple bikes, if you can be that person that lets your friends ride your bikes, especially if they have experience and you're comfortable, because that magical feeling, sometimes money can't buy it unless you spent it, but you know what it's like. If you test rode a bike and you're giving that magical feeling to a friend, you might spark an interest for them to get a second bike. And if you do the same with your friends and they let you ride their bikes, that's how you end up. It opens a whole new world of riding that this whole video is talking about, and you might actually inspire someone to get their second bike, and you keep the chain going, because Lord knows the decline of motorcycles isn't fun at the moment, and we need people like us to keep the motorcycling community alive and keep manufacturers up in their game. Because I do believe one day, unfortunately, I think we're going to be stuck with electric motorcycles and we're going to be forced to hand in these gas guzzlers. So that is another reason why I think it's a good idea to get multiple bikes. If you can afford it, you are keeping the motorcycle scene alive. Let's face it, it's as simple as that. So just to wrap this up, do I regret owning multiple bikes? 100% no. It's the best thing I've done as a rider, and I'm sure people in the comments will agree with me that own multiple bikes. If you can afford it, think about getting another bike. I'm honestly telling you, it's like starting again. That exciting feeling you get with having another bike is just, it's a magical experience. But anyway, like I said, don't take my word for it. Let us know in the comments what you think. Ask any questions you can, and if I can get back to you, I will, and I'm sure someone else with more experience will answer your questions, because as I say all the time, I'm just a dude with a bike and a camera, so don't take everything I say as gospel. Hope you've enjoyed this video. Hopefully I'll see you next time in the garage with another topic we can cover, and until next time, see you later.